We got news about Spider-Man 4. We got news about Blade, which is just infuriating. And we are going to be diving into Venom, The Last Dance, which, whoa, I've got a lot to talk about that. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you all know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, hi to everyone who's brand new and everyone who's reoccurring. Thank you very much for coming past, for listening, watching the episode, and everything else in between. But if you are brand new, welcome, settle in, get a drink. And for anyone who's been here for a while, I thank you every single week. And I've got something very special to start off with, which I'm so excited for. We got our business cards. So, mentioned last week the fact that we had these on order. I thought it was about time. I know I've been nearly doing this for nearly 2.5, 3 years, probably, roughly about now. I'd say about 3 years. And I thought, you know what? I've gone to these conventions, I've gone to these premieres, and I've looked at, I've seen people give out the cards, and I've looked at different ones. I thought, you know what? It's about time I pulled the trigger and got my own. So if anyone's watching, you can see it. For anyone who's on our Instagram, you see it as well. Officially got the Mr. Rant business cards with the details on the back and the QR code, which I'm really excited. I was got them delivered last Friday, and wonderful Australia Post is useless as shit sometimes because it's a box about really small. They fit business cards, 50 of them. I was like, okay, cool. Surely they're going to drop that off in my letterbox, which I have a massive letterbox that can take parcels. No, because that would be too bloody easy, wouldn't it? So I get a little thing that says you have to come and collect it at the shopping center. I'm like, oh, come on, like. I just want to have them. So I had to go, don't worry, made use of it, went there. Also got some alcohol for the weekend, so all ready for what it was going to be. So yeah, worked out pretty good. Go business cards and go alcohol at the same time, so who can complain? But yeah, got them made. So I'm pretty excited. So that's a small little housekeeping thing I want to talk about. But we all know why everybody else is here, is that we want to talk about Venom, The Last Dance. The last movie in the Venom trilogy in the Sonyverse, which is up and down, up and down, up and down, 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 and further down all the time. So, before we get into that, you know what always comes at first? What am I going to say? We're going to talk about the biggest highlights that have come in the past week, which we have actually got two Tom Holland ones. First one is Spider-Man 4 is nearly ready to go. They're going to start shooting next summer in 2025 for its July 2026 release. And I know I've said this week after week after week, but 2025 and 2026 are looking absolutely stacked. From everything that's coming out, I know this year is a bit of a lull, which we know because of the striking for the writers. Still partially COVID, to be honest. We know all that now, but we know now is that next year it's just going to be banger after banger. Well, hope it's going to be banger after banger, but if not, we're at least going to be treated to handsomely to some great movies that we're going to see. Yes, we are still in that superhero fever experience, but for what's going to be coming, it's going to be so exciting. But it's good to hear the fact that it's good to hear the fact that Tom Holland's excited about the script, he's excited what's coming and what's going to be going out. So it's really good to see that he's all on board for this, what they got cooking up, and the fact that we have the official release date and it starts shooting. So it's absolutely win-win. So Spider-Man 4, it's officially on its way. What the script is going to look like, what's going to look like, it's all up in the air. But if he's excited, that's the main thing. Now, the second Tom Holland news that we do have is that apparently Tom Holland, which he has confirmed himself, has confirmed that he will be starring in the brand new secret project of Christopher Nolan. Now, we reported last week that it's locked in with IMAX and Oh my God, I forgot his name. Not Mark Wahlberg. Matt Damon. Sorry, Matt Damon is going to be appearing in the film, but now we also have Tom Holland that's going to be starring. So whatever this he's sitting to do, he's very excited about this, and I would be too if I got the phone call about Christopher Nolan being, hey, Mr. Rant, I want you to be in this movie. Like, sure, doesn't matter. You could tell me anything. I'd be like, sign dotted line. I would be happily follow that man off a cliff. And I also like to say hello to the Galactic Core podcast. Just come past in the YouTube chat. Hello, Mr. Rant. Good to see you live as always. We don't miss a week, sir. Every single week. And then, as I've mentioned in the past, as soon as next year we go to Europe, it will be Lights, Camera, Rant International, and we'll still be live every single week. I can't tell you what country each one will be recorded live, but it will be, that's for sure. It was not going to look as pristine as it does right now, but we'll still be live and we'll still be recording. So basically, yeah, it'll be Lights, Camera, Rant on travel. But yeah, Tom Holland is excited. We're excited. So it's good. So whether that project's going to be, I'm really wanting to know what Nolan's big project, because as I mentioned the other week again, Nolan's movies are almost exactly like Steven Spielberg films. Is like when he says that he's directing a movie, it's almost an event film to go see this. And also when you watch it, go, what the just happened? No joke. Oppenheimer, Tenet, Inception, the list goes on. But Tom Holland fans, get ready. He's going to be in Christopher Nolan's next project. Also, Fallout fans are going to be very happy to know that Fallout Season 2 will start shooting next month. So if they start shooting, we're going to be getting Fallout Season 2 in 2026. Fallout, which appeared this year, was fantastic. It was great. The quality, the writing, Amazon's money, everything went really well on that. If you're still on the fence, go check out our previous review. Trust me, we're going to make sure of the fact that you need to jump on this train for the Fallout universe. So, Fallout Season 2 is on its way. It will be late 2026. I hope not 2027 for the love of shit, because there is a movie I'm going to talk about a little bit later on that it's going to be a little bit of a delay, even though they started finished shooting. But we need to talk about the absolute bloody mess that is Blade. Blade that was announced five freaking years ago that we were getting a brand new Blade movie. It's going to be set in the MCU. It's going to be in Phase 5. And when are we coming? And after that, we've got delay after delay after delay after delay. Multiple directors, multiple rights, different. It was Wild West, modern day, period piece, so little mixed up. And we were meant to get it next year in this November 2025, which seemed a little bit optimistic, seeing as all the news for this film has been really negative or has been shit. So Marvel has announced the fact that it's been taken off its slate, and right now, Blade is in complete limbo of when we're meant to be getting that film. It's absolutely it's horseshit, mate. It's horseshit. Because when they announced Blade, I was like, yes, I'm so excited for this. I'm in. Take my money. What more? This is gonna be really good. But again, it does stand still with Wesley Snipes' Blade in Deadpool, saying that there's only one Blade and there's only ever going to be one Blade. And so far, that is holding up right now. And it's going to say, oh, hey, man. How you go, Cal L. Daly on the YouTube. Thanks for coming past, man. As always, I'm both this man and the Galactic Core podcast. Please both go check out their channels. But yeah, Blade is just far out. This is, I don't know. I think Marvel, it's a part of me that's like Marvel should just give up. But I don't want them to give up because I want to see this film. They've got a great actor. It's, Marvel can produce a great Blade movie. We just need to fucking get it. Like, that's the problem. Old man Blade movie. Yes, I would also take that. Maybe scrap this Blade movie and give me a Logan Blade movie, which I'm pretty sure Wesley Snipes would be 100% in for. Also, the Galactic Core podcast, no Blade until after Secret Wars, I reckon. Yeah, it's just, it's just getting pushed back further and further, and it's all. As soon as I saw this post, it was like, of course it is. Why would it not be delayed at all? It seems to be the Marvel project it's been in the most biggest limbo that we could ever talk about that's been announced. The only other project that really kind of went into a big kind of mess for Marvel was the Inhumans. The Inhumans was announced. It was going to be, I think it was going to be in phase 3 at the time. It was meant to come out in between one of the Infinity Wars when it was originally announced. And that just went straight to being a TV show, and it completely, utterly bombed, and is one of the Marvel projects that gets least talked about ever. Cal, we need a Blade Ghost Rider team-up movie. That would be sick. And I think if they do it like a Western, it made sense having Ghost Rider and Blade, because vampires in the Old West, I can't to dusk to dawn, there's something that you could do right there with it, but why can't that's the thing. I would love to be in the room with all the writers and Kevin Feige and find out why this movie can't seem to come together. And if I was Herschel, I would be pissed. I'd be like, come on, I want to make this movie. I've had 2 seconds that was in one of the most reviewed bomb Marvel movies, which was Internals. But come on, it's got to be... Cal, Ant-Man was a mess. Remember, Edgar Wright had a whole other movie that they scrapped. Actually, that's right. For everybody who doesn't know, even the journey of Ant-Man was utter mess. There's a whole episode that you could do on Ant-Man, how that came about, how Edgar Wright, there was so much on the plate for that, and it's not. Marvel took elements from what Edgar Wright had in mind, but it didn't come to fruition. And it's funny because it's not really funny. He wanted to make this Ant-Man movie, and from that Ant-Man movie, we got 3 Ant-Mans, and one of them is one of the worst movies in the MCU. And that villain currently makes no sense anymore, even more now. But it's just coming to the point where, do you just hit that button and be like, give up, scrap it? But again, at the same time, they got contracts to meet. Mahershala Ali, his contract, they need him. We haven't even got a cameo. Not even yes, we did get him talking in one, but not a proper cameo. We could at least get that. From in the same week, we get announcement of Spider-Man, start shooting, release date confirmed, go. We get, Blade, that's a no. It's a absolutely no, and pull right back. So, Blade fans, right now, the most you're going to get out of Blade is from the original trilogy and Deadpool and Wolverine. Because right now, I would not hold my breath for Blade at all until we get something concrete, because it ain't looking good. So next year, we are down from 4 Marvel films to 3, which is not a bad thing. Trust me. Also, John Wick fans, as I'm recording right now, this is currently the 10th anniversary of the original John Wick film. So it makes sense to also announce that a John Wick anime movie is going to be coming is in the works and will be coming, and it will be a prequel to the first John Wick movie. So we'll basically get to see Mr. Wick be in his prime, hopefully. How this is going to look, what's going to be shaped, is all up in the air currently now. But a John Wick anime, there is just so much they could do with that you can't do in films, and I have no doubt it will look utterly crisp and look sleek. I did see someone's comment the other day was could this be a movie about the impossible task that he had to do on the bodies of the Foundation that we all get to hear in the first movie? Could that be it? There's a part of me that's I don't want to see that, because I'm it's good to have that mystery of what the impossible task is. Sometimes, which I can also tell as well, we don't always need the gaps in a story, both in books, film, TV show. We don't need always to have the gaps filled in. You don't need it. Let the imagination of what that could have been, what could have possibly done, what was the impossible task, how could, or was there so many bodies? There's all that kind of stuff that you got to just let the imagination go wild. We don't, probably Solo's probably one good movie. We didn't need to know that's how you got your gun, that's how you got your ship. Takes that small little, we wanted a bet kind of situation. It kind of takes away all that imagination wise, and there's a whole other thing of why Solo turned out terrible. But I do know some people were like, Solo wasn't that bad. I'm like, it wasn't great, and it wasn't good, but not bad is probably the best thing you can say about that. Now, this is the other movie I was talking about that I do know things can take a long time to get made. CGI, post-production, everything else in between. Now, I saw an announcement this week that was Mandalorian and Grogu movie is finished filming. That's great. And then part of me is like, that's awesome. Ready for your 2025, 2026 release. So I'm like, cool. Okay. It's finished filming. Guess that gives time for reshoots and stuff like that, or extra scenes you need, but it's like almost like like great, almost like great. I guess I won't hold my breath until that's going to come out, because it's going to be very far away from when that's coming out. That's coming out in 2026. As mentioned, it's a packed year, but Grogu and Mandalorian is finished filming. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure I also did see that the Rey movie is also most likely going to be delayed, because they're still going to try and get writers and sort out that crap. And as I've spoken on this podcast multiple times, I could not give a shit about the Rey movie. For me, it's all about the Mando movie, wrapping up everything from Mando and Ahsoka. So that's going to be really excited for about that. But yeah, Mando and Grogu, it's finished filming. Just going to wait another year and a half, almost 2 years until it's going to come out. Now, Kingsman fans. Now, a few months ago, we reported that the Kingsmen were looking to do another one. Unfortunately, right now, that is not the case. There is currently no plans to finish off the Kingsman trilogy or from the prequel, especially with the Argyle movie with Matthew Vaughn made, how that was technically in the Kingsman universe set up thing kind of style, but that did not perform very well. The man's got the flair. It's just the putting the story together that's his downfall. Like, the first Kingsman was really good, but the rest is just brother. Kingsman 2 wasn't too great. The Kingsman was good, but also not great to living up to that first Kingsman. So that would be why there's currently no more Kingsman currently on the table. So I am sorry, Kingsman fans. Might have to wait a little while, or just have to keep watching the other three films. Also, one of the best horror films of this year, Alien Romulus. Of course, this is not a big surprise, but a sequel is currently in the works. They're currently having talks with the director to come back on board. I do know a lot of people would say, well, isn't the sequel to Alien Romulus just be Aliens 2? Technically, yes, you are right, but it is not going to be the case. They're looking to the leading stars back for the sequel. How it's going to look like, how they're going to get aliens back involved again is off, because I feel like it doesn't need a sequel, because, like, yes, it was good, it was great, we've got the young actors and the aliens, but I feel like where it's situated, almost like you don't need it, because you got the alien, it's connected right with our first Alien, and you got Aliens 2 back to back, and kind of situate nice and perfectly. If you try and shoehorn another movie in between Alien Romulus and Aliens 2, is that a bit much? Or maybe this is just going to be turning into a sequel to Alien Romulus, but a sequel to Aliens. So technically, Alien 2.5. If that was 1.5, this could be 2.5. Try and figure that out. Apparently, that would be the better version. But Alien Romulus sequel could, Alien Romulus 2.5. I guess, or 1.8. I guess that's another way to look at it. But Alien Romulus, which is one of the best horror films of this year, if you haven't gone and watched it, you need to go watch it right now. It's going to come out sometime. Hopefully, Vinny, the director, will come back for this, because he needs to, because he's the one who he did so well in the film, why it's been so praised. So hopefully they can get back. But again, how it's going to look like, how it's going to fit in the Alien universe is up in the air. And trust me, I don't know how. Yeah, good luck to anyone who's going to try and put that story together and how you're going to get the aliens back involved at all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was the biggest news for this past week. Let's get on to Venom. Venom, The Last Dance. Now, I had the great opportunity, which I'd like to thank you, Sony Pictures, for letting me go to the early premiere for this film, which was awesome. There was drinks, there was Venom tattoos, there was a big signage for you to take photos of. It was such an awesome event, and it was just fantastic. So go check it out on Instagram. We did a small highlight reel for it. It was so much fun. So big thank you to Sony for having the opportunity to go see this film. Now, this is Sony's second attempt of releasing a film this year. So the bar for them for how Venom is going 3 is absolutely massive, especially the last film is Madam Web, which came out in February this year. Now, not only was the bar really low because of Madam Web, Venom 2 was also the other film that came out, which Venom 2, to my opinion, was not that great. The first Venom was just so good. It was solid. It was good. Yes, there's things you could tweak on it, but Venom 2 just didn't hit the mark. And it was a very short film. And it's interesting because after that, it was like, okay, what the hell are they going to do for Venom 3? So Venom 3 is a sequel to Spider-Man No Way Home, which we saw at the end where he's talking in the bar, and Venom 2. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the next film that's going to be coming out this year on Sony is going to be Kraven the Hunter, which was delayed 12 months. So, I don't know how that's going to look, because trust me, I know some people will say, oh, it won't be too bad, but let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be that bad. Because Sony makes great gaming consoles, great technology, but their movies just seem to not hit the bloody mark, especially after Morbius. Now, Morbin time and all that. But yeah, Venom 3. Venom 3, that had a budget of $120 million. Currently now at the box office, it's already made $96 million. So it is currently on track to make a pretty penny, a lot more than Madam Web. Now, we are going to be going into spoiler territory. So spoilers. We're going to give spoilers everywhere for this. So if you haven't gone and seen the film, I'm not going to be held responsible. But if you have seen it, let's digress. Let's talk about a film that, come on, like looking at this film, it's. Sorry. Okay, look. Let's go on this. So Venom 3 starts off with a scene with Canal, who's basically the god of all symbiotes. Who's created him. He's in god form. He's in the comics. Now, when we got to see him in the trailer, I thought myself, like, you've got the end of the movie with such a big character, and it's under Sony. Like, are they going to waste it? And look, partially, yeah, they could have. And partially, they did. Canal is a character that you just throw away and, they're just going to use him. Just use him because we've got run out of characters. Like, we don't even see Canal talk to Venom or Tom Hardy. This whole thing. We never see him in the film. Yes, he's played by Andy Serkis, which is an absolute win. But we never get to see that. And then we get this 15 minutes of exposition at the start, which was great, which is, that's what we needed. But as I go along in this review, I almost feel like we should have got a Venom. There should have been a Venom 3 with a villain, and then we should have got Venom 4 with Canal. Like, this being Venom 3, and then something more learned about Canal, and then going into Venom 4. Like, that's what I feel. I feel like that's what we should have got. Like, just a little bit more time with these characters, because this is a big character. This is a strong character. This is like having Magneto come in for 5 minutes and never actually see Xavier at all, and then that's it. This is how it goes wrong. So we get to see Eddie Brock and Venom pick up straight being at the pub after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Not to mention, Venom 1, Venom 2, and Venom 3 happens in 12 months. Eddie says it. He says if it only this all happens in 12 months. What a massive 12 months. He's gone from being a reporter. I'm just reporting, and then becoming attached to Venom, versing other Venom. His partner leaves him. She becomes She-Venom, and then more symbiotes. More symbiotes appear, and then a serial killer becomes a symbiote. Then he goes to a different dimension, and now he's being chased by these Zeo mugs, or they're going into that. So they've got that going. So that all happens in 12 months. Like shit. Like that's a hell of a year. The Galactic Core podcast. Sony have said they have a whole plan for now moving forward, but that's just a worrying as anything Sony could do with this character, just leave him to the MCU. I also like to say hello to Don't Be a Hero podcast. Thank you for coming past on YouTube. Love these guys. Actually, love everyone who's come past. But if you haven't already, Galactic Core podcast, Cal, Don't Be a Hero podcast, go check them out. 100%. So going back to Galactic Core podcast inquiry, is it yes? Sony have come said for they've got a plan for now moving forward, going into this, which is cool, but at the same time, it's like, but who is he going to verse? Like, who's going to be the other hero you're going to pour shit from? Because spoilers are going to happen at the end. Is Venom is dead, so you're gonna. How is this going to go? We go. Oh, he's going to be another villain for who? He's not a villain. He's not a villain for Madam Web, and we don't want to see a Madam Web sequel. We don't want to see any of those characters again. If any of those characters we want to see Sydney Sweeney being in Spider-Man 4 as Black Cat. That's what we want to see. That's it again. And then we've got Kraven the Hunter. I don't think Kraven the Hunter is going to verse him at all. So what Sony's bloody plan is just shit on the ceiling, because I don't know how it's going to look in that sense. But the thing is, that's a negative, I would say, with him. But take away the negative in this film is that this film is bloody hilarious. The comedy, which we've all known from Venom 1 and Venom 2, which has always been the strongest, is between Eddie Brock and Venom is the relationship. And that's what the heart of this movie is. So they definitely play into that being the final last ride of these two. And the reason why it's the last two is that Canal is chasing them and trying to kill them because they have a codex which will unlock and let him be free on the universe. So because the symbiotes trapped him in this void to help save the world. So save the universe, really. And so they've trapped him in here, and that's why he wants the codex. The codex only appears, which allows these Xeno things to chase them, when Venom goes in his full form. So either he never goes in his full form again, or one of them needs to die because of how they're bonded together. Now it's definitely last ride. Those two is some of the funniest moments in the entire film. It's great, and that's why I do love it. So that part of it is fantastic. The CGI is so good. All the symbiotes look really good. There's nothing for a film that's very CGI heavy. I found it looks really good. They've spent the money in the right places. So as we do get Eddie and Venom traveling to get out of here because that Xeno thing is chasing them every time they go. We've all get to also meet the new characters, Payne and Strickland. I'm pretty sure his name was, because apparently Area 51 is being demolished. But don't you worry, Area 52 is still around, and it's also underneath Area 51, and it's also they've captured all the rest of the symbiotes that have been on the planet, and they're studying them. And because of this, there's now become they've also got the Mulligans from Venom 2, which you get to see that he did survive. He's bonded with one of the symbiotes, and he tells them on what's coming. So it becomes a race to go get. Strickland's going to go after Venom. He's going to go after Eddie Eddie Brock to try and kill him. So basically, it becomes a race between them chasing them, and also Zenith Canals things also chasing them as well. And in this journey, we get to see them go to Vegas. We get to see Mrs. Chen, which is also one of the highlights of this film, is seeing Mrs. Chen. She's been a highlight for Venom 1, Venom 2, and Venom 3. Not to mention, she made that appearance in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, which was really cool. But she becomes a highlight with them dancing with each other. Dude, that was a really good scene. And we also get to see Eddie also get picked up by the Moon family, which was really nice little family together kind of trip. And obviously they want to go see aliens. And it's friendly. I don't trust aliens, but there's going to be some aliens down here, which turns out to be a really funny part. But as we go across this tale, as we can see the conflicts going, things get worse and worse and worse for them. More Xeno creatures rock up. Strickland also kills Eddie briefly, which turns into a giant mess. And then these massive creatures, which are just killing everybody, killing all symbiotes, just eat them and mow them down like a wood chipper, which is kind of gross. And it's funny when I watch this film, it's like I kind of wish this was R-rated because it'd be so much more blood. It's not funny, but we don't get that, which is fine, understandable. So these things are just mowing down. It's just eating symbiotes left, right, and center. This beast that's chasing them, Canal sent them. So it turns into a big battle at Area 52, with them all trying to help each other. So, and we get to see multiple different variations of Venom. We also get to see anti-Venom really briefly, which we saw in Spider-Man 2, the video game. We get to see all these symbiotes rock up and then try and work together to kill this creature, which is super powerful because every time it dies, it just comes back together and like regenerates. I'm like, well, yep, shit creep, because they're kind of really powerful. And these humans are trying to help. Turns into a big battle. Even the Moon family does help, which turns into a funny mess, which is also funny. But as that all goes, we also turn to final battle where Venom realizes the fact that there's only one way to do this. They can't kill him. So Venom absorbs, takes over the other Xeno creatures, and basically pours the acid on himself, killing him. And killing him to save everybody, to blow up the rest of the base for Eddie to go on. And it's a beautiful scene because it's like these two friends have been through so much, and they were going to go to New York to get away from everything, but just it's like, parting ways. It's definitely, the film definitely plays into the last dance, the final ride of these two, almost like two cowboys, one final ride together into only half of the sunset. So the film does end the trilogy off on a very sad note, that we do get the after credit scenes as well, which we get to see that Nell's been freed and he's going to attack the universe. That's the after credit scene that we did get. But this film, and we not to mention we get to see Venom Horse, Venom Fish, multiple others. And we also get to sort of hear that scene, "We are Venom." So that's also fantastic. But this film is just, watching it, I was laughing about it, but it was just a little like there was just so much into this on this new villain. The villain not actually, I know there's been multiple movies that we've seen in the past where the main villain doesn't actually meet the hero at all. But this feels to me like there should have been more. The new characters we do get, they're only there for a particular purpose, and they disappear almost as quickly as they do appear for this film. But it's just watching it and just like, if I was getting this a rating like 1 to 10, I would give this. I'll give this about a 7, to be honest. It's a good time. It's an action flick. CGI is good. The plot's a bit hairy, to be honest. Like, a lot happens which makes no connection to the first film. That's which I do love at the ending. The ending also, they do like a recap from Venom 1 and Venom 2. As I said, it's a hell of a 12 months for Eddie Brock. The plot's a bit hairy, but, like the Moon family is one of the funny highlights, which is great, getting that side of things. But it's just, it just feels like it should be in longer, or there should be another movie to really like think, oh my God, there's a threat is going. And it's sad. It's just totally sad, the fact that the Galactic Core podcast, in the same way we got Baby Groot, after the death of Groot and Guardians, we will get Baby Venom since the time Venom symbiote was loose, we saw in the second post-credit scene. Well, yes, at the second, actually two. So Spider-Man No Way Home is a little bit of symbiote left over in that universe, and there's a little bit of symbiote left over we get to see at the very end. But I don't know, like if they do bring Venom back, does that kind of make the third one a little bit redundant because he thought he died? And I know, and another thing on top of that is, this is a comic book movie. No one stays truly dead. So, and then Tom Hardy has said in an interview that never say never, he will come back if he gets the opportunity for him to verse Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which is fair. I'd put my hand up too if I was him. But, we get, that's the hard thing, is that maybe no one truly stays, well, no one does in the MCU stays truly dead unless you're Quicksilver, because you're gone. Actually, right now, still, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, also gone. And before anyone says Doctor Doom doesn't count. So, Venom 3, 1 out of 10, I give it a 7. This is 100% a Saturday night flick. You chuck on, you want a good time, you want an action flick, you want to laugh, this is everything. But when you put it on the scale of connecting to the first 3 films and on the whole scale of things, it does kind of be very shaky. And the plot of the film, between who's this main villain, what's going to happen next, just things that like, okay, there should be a gap, there should be more writing on that. The film doesn't go for too long, so it does. For me, it does wrap up the trilogy very well to a degree. Like it's not as. Oh no! Dark Knight Rises, probably a Dark Knight Rises, if you will, if we're combining it to a degree. Dark Knight Rises ending to the trilogy was a lot better, made sense, connected to the first one. Where now this is like, okay, there's another way to put this. This is like if you go to watch the Dark Knight trilogy and Bane rocks up with no connection at all to the entire plot. Like I've been here the whole time, and you've got this codex for the whole time. And it's like the codex is never mentioned. Null is never mentioned. It's like, it's never mentioned on him being around. It's almost like he just realized that, that's right. There's a codex. I can get it out. Oh, that's right. Technically, it would have been going off the whole time, every time he went and became Venom. Really, it would have happened every time, but no, it didn't. So it's stuff like that. It's just doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense. But I would love to know, what do you think of Venom 3? Where do you want to see Venom rock up again? Would you like to see a Venom 4? Do you want to see Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom vs. Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Or would you just want, now that just end the trilogy, that's Tom Hardy's Venom done and dusted, let's get a new one, and let's get ones like similar to like Spider-Man 2. Let's get something like that, and then let's get that in the MCU. It's done and dusted, because right now, as mentioned, there's no plans about Venom. The Galactic Core podcast, I went in with low expectations, but enjoyed it. I gave it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, 6.5, 7, that's kind of where I'm sitting. I would not be giving this a 9 at all, or 10, or anything higher than a 7, and you understand why. But as I said, I'd love to know what you all think of it. And as always, thank you very much to everyone who's come past. Thank you very much to Galactic Core podcast, Don't Be a Hero podcast, Cal L. Daly for all come past in the YouTube chat. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments of Venom 3. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.